Hi, my dear grade 5 students. How are you? Are you excited to start our third lecture in semester 3? Okay, this week we cover grammar and writing. So as I said before that all our grammar lessons for semester 3 are found in ISI booklet grammar booklet part 2. And our lesson for this week will be adjectives. You can find adjectives on page 16. Start from page 16 in your ISI phonics ISI grammar booklet. Okay, so this week we're going to explain adjectives. When we finish from the grammar, we're going to move to the writing part. So please now stay with me, stay concentrated. Let's see what we mean by adjectives. At the end, you're going to be able to differentiate between an adjective and other parts of a speech. When we say other parts of a speech, we mean like nouns or verbs. Recall and use adjectives correctly. We have to to know what adjectives are and how to use them. And we have to relate adjectives to their nouns. Why to their nouns? You're going to see. Stay with me. What are adjectives first? Let's read these examples. That dress is the most beautiful dress that has ever been made. Example number 2. We have traveled for many hours. Example number 3. The room is small. Notice the words, the underlined words, the yellow words in the sentences. Okay. If we examine them, we notice that these words are not specifying names. So if something is not specifying a name, we cannot call it a noun. And even if it's not expressing an action, then since they are not expressing actions, then they are not verbs. If they are not nouns or verbs, what are they? So okay, these words are describing other nouns. Let's see. Beautiful. After beautiful, if you notice, we're talking beautiful about the dress. We're saying beautiful dress. Many, we're saying many hours. So I'm describing the number of the hours. The room is small. Small is talking about the room also. So here we're describing the room. So when we use these words to describe other words, okay, and especially nouns, if you notice here that they are describing nouns, beautiful is describing the dress, is talking about the dress. Dress is a noun. Many hours. Many is describing the hours, and the room is small. Small is describing the room. So these words are describing nouns. They are talking about nouns, okay? So what do we call them? We call them adjectives. So from these examples, we can notice that the words that describe nouns are called adjectives. Okay. So what adjectives could be? Again, we repeat: adjectives are words that describe nouns, only nouns. Adjectives could be articles. Articles like what? A dog. I'm describing the dog. A dog. The happy girl. The is describing the girl. Okay. An apple. An apple. It's describing the apple. So articles could be adjectives. Also demonstrative adjectives that tell which one. What are demonstrative adjectives like this, that, these, those? You might say, oh, wow, these are adjectives. Yes, because when you say this girl, so I'm describing this girl. I'm telling which one. So it's an adjective. It's describing a noun. Adjectives also could be colors. Yes, colors. Since colors describe nouns. Brown boxes. Brown boxes. The blue sky. Blue sky. Okay, and notice here that I have also the. So yes, we can find more than one adjectives after each other. Green apples. Green. Also, adjectives could be quantities. Quantities like what? Some, few, many. Okay, several. So these are called also adjectives. Read the word. If it's describing a noun, then it is an adjective. Numbers also. Nouns could be numbers like 5 books, 20 papers, 15 boys, for example. Conditions also are adjectives. If we are describing a condition, a certain situation. Frightened man. The man is in a certain situation. He is frightened. So frightened is an adjective. I'm describing the situation of the man. Energetic dog. Silly behavior. So you see, conditions are also adjectives. Still have more. Shapes are also adjectives like round containers, tall man, short chair, for example. Okay, tiny chair. a square room, a rectangular room. So you see the shapes are also adjectives. Sizes also are adjectives like tiny, huge, big, small. Opinions are also adjectives. Opinions like beautiful, priceless. Okay? Age is also an adjective. Young, old. Origin is also an adjective. Lebanese, Greek, Dutch, Syrian, Palestinian. So you see, all of these are adjectives. Okay? Material is also an adjective. For example, wooden, plastic. So I'm describing the product is made of out of what? It's made out of a certain material. This material is an adjective. Wooden, plastic, for example. Nylon bags. So nylon here describes the bags. Okay, these are adjectives. Now, how do I place adjectives? Adjectives should be placed in a specific way. Adjectives usually come before the noun that they describe. So the adjectives, they usually, pay attention to the word usually, not always, usually, come before the noun they describe. Examples: the tall man, the black cat. Okay? Again, we repeat here. Notice that the articles are adjectives, a, an, and the. The tall man, the adjective here, tall, is before the noun. The man alone, we put the before the man. We do not say man tall, no, tall man, black cat. Okay, so adjectives come before the nouns they describe. This is usual. But there is an exception. When we have indefinite pronouns such as something, someone, anybody, modified by adjectives, the adjective comes after the indefinite noun. When we say indefinite, we mean it's not specific. We do not know who we are talking about or what we are talking about. For example, I say someone guilty of doing something cruel. So you see, someone guilty. We didn't say guilty someone. Okay, someone guilty. The adjective came after the indefinite pronoun of doing something cruel. Something cruel. I want to describe this thing, something, by saying cruel. I do not say cruel something. I say something cruel to humans or animals deserves to be punished. Okay, someone guilty of doing something cruel to humans or animals deserves to be punished. So when I find these indefinite pronouns, the pronouns that are not specific, are not definite, we do not know who or what we're talking about, we have to add the adjective that describes these indefinite pronouns after them. Also, I have another exception. When doesn't the adjective come before the noun? When adjectives follow a linking verb. A linking verb. Okay? Maybe the verb to be or verbs that do not express actions. We call them linking verbs. Okay. The adjective comes after these linking verbs. And we call it predicate adjective. What do we call the adjective? We call it predicate adjective. In this case, they modify the noun subject. What do they modify or what do they describe? We use modify or describe the noun subject, but they are in the predicate of the sentence. That's why we call them predicate adjectives. Okay? For example, Joanna is beautiful. What is that describing word here? Beautiful. Okay. Beautiful is describing Joanna. Okay. Why did I add the adjective here at the end? Because I have a linking verb in the middle, which is the verb to be, for example, here. Okay. So it's a linking verb, so I have to put the adjective after the linking verb. Ahmed looks handsome. Looks here, yes, is a linking verb. Why? Because it doesn't express an action. It just connects the subject to the predicate. Handsome describes Ahmad. Okay, so I have to put it after the linking verb. That boy appears too young to drive. Appears also is a linking verb. It doesn't express an action. Okay, too young. Young, I'm talking about the boy. Okay, since I have a linking verb in the middle, then I have to put young after the linking verb. Now we move to something very important, which is the order of adjectives. Order of adjectives. When we have more than one adjective, okay, when we have more than one adjective, then I have to order them in a specific way. They are not placed randomly. No, there are general rules to decide which order the adjectives must be. The first one, the first order in the adjectives is the number or a quantity. If we're talking about number or a quantity, then I have to put it at the beginning. Then if I have an opinion or equality, I put it second. The third is the size. The fourth is the shape. The fifth is the age. The sixth is the color. The seventh is the orange. And the eighth is the material. How? Let's have an example. I saw 3. This is the number. Beautiful. This is opinion or quality. Small. This is size. Spotted. This is shape. Young. This is age. White. This is color. German. This is origin. Rubber. This is material. Puppies is the noun. So you see, guys, how I ordered the adjectives. Number, opinion, size, shape, age, color, origin, material. Repeat them. Number, opinion, size, shape, age, color, origin, material. Number, opinion, size, shape, age, color, origin, material. Repeat them at least 10 times and you're going to memorize the order of the adjectives. Okay, one more point we have to talk about in adjectives, which is called the proper adjectives. If you remember that we talked about something called the proper noun before when we took nouns, and you said that the proper noun is a specific name of a noun. For example, Lena is a proper noun. Lebanon is a proper noun. It's a specific name of a country. But what do we mean by proper adjectives? A proper adjective is an adjective derived from a proper noun. So the proper adjective originally comes from a proper noun, and it should always start with a capital letter. Start with a capital letter. Since the proper adjectives are adjectives derived from proper nouns, there are hundreds or even thousands of them. Some common ones would be anything derived from a country or people group. So the most common proper adjectives that you have to know or to study are the adjectives that come from a name of a country or a group people. For example, American, British, Spanish, Lebanese, Syrian, Palestinian. So all of these are called the proper adjectives and they should always be capitalized. Okay, let's practice this exercise. This exercise is found in your book on page 26. Read each sentence, underline each adjective, circle any demonstrative adjectives or articles that you find. If we find demonstrative or article adjectives, we have to circle them, but the regular adjective, we underline it. 3 horses approached the fence. 3 is an adjective. It's describing horses. Approach the fence. The is an article, so I have to circle it. 2. The Arabian horse had a long tail. The is an adjective, article, horse. Arabian is it comes from a proper noun, so it's a proper adjective. We underline it. The Arabian horse had a long tail. A is an article. Long is an adjective, long tail. 3. We had fresh grass up to his We held the fresh grass up to his wet nose. We held the fresh grass. Fresh is an adjective. Up to his wet nose. Wet is an adjective. The white horse gave us a playful wink. The is an article. White horse. White describes the color of the horse. It's an adjective. Gave us a playful wink. Wink. Okay, a playful. So playful is an adjective because it describes the wink. 2 ranchers filled this large trough with cold water. 2 ranchers. 2 is a number, so it's an adjective. Ranchers is a noun. Filled this large. This first is a demonstrative adjective. Large is an adjective. Large trough with cold water. Cold is also an adjective. 6. Those thirsty horses gathered to drink. Those is a demonstrative adjective. We circle it. Thirsty horses, thirsty. It describes the situation of the condition of the horses. So it's an adjective. Gathered to drink. Okay, no more adjectives. 7. A warm breeze blew across the rolling prairie. A article. Warm breeze. Warm is an adjective. Blew across the rolling prairie. The article. Rolling prairie. Rolling is an adjective. It describes the prairie, how the prairie is moving. 8. White clouds drifted along in the blue sky. White, adjective, white clouds drifted along in the blue sky. That is an article. Blue is an adjective. 9. The third day of our vacation was nearing its end. That is an article. We circle it. Third is a number, so it's an adjective. The third day of our vacation was nearing its end. No more adjectives. Number 10, we headed back to the main house for an early dinner. We headed back to the main house. The article. Main is an adjective. For an early dinner. Early also is an adjective. So guys, I'm going to leave the rest of the exercises for you to solve alone, and we correct them during the live session. Now it's time to start with the writing, and pay attention. This is a new type of writing because you're going to have a graded homework, and we're going to take a writing grade for this week. This week we're going to take the descriptive writing. Why the descriptive writing? We'll see. From the word descriptive itself, we notice that it's related to adjectives. Then since adjectives describe nouns, then we have to do or to make a descriptive paragraph. So at the end, we will recall the, in this part, we will recall the 3 parts of a paragraph. We will identify a descriptive paragraph. We will identify the steps of descriptive writing, and we will compose a descriptive writing at the end. First of all, if you remember that any paragraph starts with a topic sentence, then we have to add details, then we have to add a concluding sentence. These are the main parts of any paragraph. But what do we mean by descriptive writing or descriptive paragraph? A descriptive paragraph describes a person, a place, a situation, etc. So when we say descriptive, we mean it's describing. How? Using special order and adjectives. So you have to use special orders and adjectives, and also you have to use the simple present tense. A description is a picture in words, as if we are picturing it, but in words, that helps the reader see, hear, taste, smell, or feel something that the writer has experienced. So notice something that here when we are describing, we are using our senses: seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, feeling, or touching. We can say feel or touch. Okay? So first of all, what do we mean by spatial order? The spatial order shows how people and objects are arranged in a space or a scene. So when you want to describe a scene or a space or a thing, we have to use a spatial order. A description can be organized this way, and it will be a very amazing descriptive paragraph. For example, how do I describe or how do I order it? I start maybe from top to bottom, or from outside to inside, or from left to right, or from near to far, or from inside to outside, or the reverse of all of these. For example, start from the bottom to the top, from the inside to the outside. It's up to you, but make it in order. It's do not start with something in the inside, then you move to the outside, then to the inside. No, you finish everything, for example, on the inside, then you move to the outside. Let's have this example, for example. Yes, for example, Mr. Adams' classroom. Let's see how the writer is going to describe Mr. Adams' classroom. In Mr. Adams' classroom, we see a lot of interesting things. So if you notice that we started with the topic sentence and an indent, this is very important. And in the topic sentence, the writer mentioned what here? Mentioned what he is going to describe. Mr. Adams' classroom, and he gave an impression. We see a lot of interesting things. To the left of the class, so he started from the left, we see 10 posters in the colors of the rainbow. To the right, he is specifying the directions. To the right, there is a black radio on top of the silver file cabinet. Notice here in these 2 sentences, we see 10 posters, 10, we used a number, it's an adjective, in the colors of the rainbow. To the right, there is a black radio, he specified black radio, on the top of the silver file cabinet. In the back, okay, there is a huge blue curtain hanging on the wall. In the front of the class, we see a green rectangular chalkboard. So if you notice that here in the middle, he mentioned or he described everything in the classroom. So these are what we call the details. Indeed, Mr. Adams' classroom is very interesting. So now he ended his paragraph. Simply, you see, with a short concluding sentence. Indeed, Mr. Adams' classroom is very interesting. He stated the topic sentence in different words. That's it. And notice that he used ordering words, spatial orders, to the left of the class, to the right, in the back, in the front of the class. So you see, all of these words help you to picture the class in front of you. And using the correct description by using the correct adjectives and also the correct tense, all of these make your paragraph amazing. So what are some of the prepositions to use for descriptive writing which help us in descriptive writing? In front of, in back of, behind, on top of, on the bottom of, next to, above, below, underneath, across, to the right, to the left, in the middle of, around, between, behind, and more. So now let's go over how to write a descriptive paragraph. We have to start with the topic sentence. What does the topic sentence mention? The topic sentence of a descriptive paragraph should name the topic. So first of all, I have to name the topic. The controlling idea should give the overall impression of the place, thing, or person you are describing. In other words, begin with a hook that tells what the description is about. So in the topic sentence, we have to tell what we're describing and to give an impression about it. When I finish topic sentence, then I have to move to the supporting sentences, which will include the descriptive details. So in the supporting sentences, I have to use exact or vivid words to create a picture in the reader's mind. I have to include important details about what I'm describing. Details are very important. I have to put the details in the correct order, maybe time order, maybe spatial order, or in order of importance. It depends on what I'm describing. And also I have to use sensory words, words that are related to the senses. If you remember, seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, and touching. Why? To help the reader picture what I'm describing. Okay? So these, what we call sensory words or sensory details. And at the end, I have to close my paragraph with a concluding sentence and in a way that wraps up the description. That's it. Or just restate the topic sentence in different words. Now let's take this example, another example, descriptive paragraph for a place also. The New Forest. And then it's very important. 10 minutes from my house is the most beautiful area in the city. So you see, I'm going to describe the area in the city and which I gave an impression about it, the most beautiful. It is called the New Forest. Now I start describing it. It is a large area of natural forest and there are a lot of animals that live there. Excellent. This is the first descriptive detail. Horses and donkeys walk everywhere and sometimes you can see pigs, cows and ducks crossing the roads. What I like the most about that place is that the colors of the forest change during the year. So you see, in autumn, the leaves are red and gold, and in the spring, everything is purple. The trees are always colorful and different. Tourists often prefer to go to the small villages in New Forest for the pretty houses and the traditional restaurants. I love to walk along the rivers and through the trees. Now I'm closing my paragraph. I'm restating the topic sentence and I'm giving my feelings. I love to walk along the rivers and through the trees because there you can see the true heart of the forest. So you simply, in 4 to 5 details, I describe the whole place, okay, with very simple descriptive details. So guys, we have reached the end of our lecture. Now it's your turn to go and solve to do the writing paragraph and submit it on the application because it will be graded. And also we're going to solve the grammar questions together during live sessions. So stay safe and bye-bye.